can't do this. So I turn around and tell them that I want to quit. And then I see a huge quote printed on the glass window right next to me. Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone.
A Philippine podcast show dedicated to help you thrive for greatness.
This guy is phenomenally passionate about what he does.
How freaking amazing Jamir is. So skilled and so qualified, and I highly recommend him.
Without a doubt, the best funnel builder I've ever come across.
Yeah, really into the detail, and cannot recommend him highly enough.
Not only was efficient and fast, but he understood the project.
The person who built our entire funnel from beginning to end and has been with us since day one is Jamir.
Nothing But Up, the podcast. With your host, Jamir Angelo.
Great day, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Again, this is Nothing But Up, the podcast. You're watching, listening to episode number 4. And guys, it's what I promised you. We are going international today, guys. So our guest is from the UK. Massive and explosive episode for you guys. This episode is a killer. So if you are someone who's looking to do great with YouTube, and if you are considering to seriously make a profit out of YouTube, you need to block out your time and carefully listen to today's show. You will no longer have to go through the painful process of, searching and kind of like finding a system that you can use or perhaps replicate in order to make money from YouTube, as well as, and we will be going to discussing everything in our show today. So anyway, I'm coming to you live from my simple home office here in South Cotabato. Shout out to everybody that has downloaded our podcast episodes so far, followed me on Spotify, and followed us as well on Apple Podcast. It's been amazing. I mean, going through our stats, first 3 episodes, we have received overwhelming downloads and followers on Spotify. Listeners coming from all around the globe. Shout out to everybody who has listened to the show from Singapore, Dubai, Toronto, UK, and some parts of the Middle East. Also today, pretty surprising, we have a few listeners from the Netherlands. So pretty interesting. But again, thank you so much for your support. This one's for you guys. So anyway, let's dive into today's show, guys. As said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So let's kind of talk about it for a second. Going back episode number 2, we had a guest, Dave of Cansi, our guest, mentioned that he needs to be uncomfortable to become productive. Fucking confusing? Hell no. But in reality, it is really a fact. I mean, to be comfortable, like having to live the life you always dream about. I mean, to become financially free or be well-binded by your relationship status and such, one has to overcome the feeling of being or becoming too uncomfortable. So let me just explain. I mean, your life will be tested, like exactly what's happening now. I mean, how many times have we endured from going from ECQ, enhanced community quarantine, going to MECQ, and all types of Qs that you can probably throw. It's been crazy, and it's true. We're all tested with this pandemic, and look at some of our politicians, for examples and shit, right? Look how fucked up the idea about motorcycle barriers for married couples. Come on, guys, for Christ's sake. I need not to say more. You can see how stupid that idea is, but I'm not going to dwell on that today. I'm no politician whatsoever, so I'll leave that to their asses, perhaps. But now, I mean, how will you know that it is the time to pull the trigger? The answer? You will never know. Because you will only get to know it until you pull the trigger and see the results, what the outcome will be brought on to you. The only way to know is when you take that massive leap of faith and make a final decision to take actions. And that's really the truth. And I can totally resonate to that, which is exactly what I did when I was younger. I mean, just a little backstory. A few years back, my batchmates from elementary organized a reunion. Just totally forgot the year when it was, but I mean, shout out to everybody, my batchmates: Warren, Mark, Romeo, Lupe, Jameson, Felix, Ryan, Brad Ures. I love you so much. I really can't name you all, guys, and I'm really sorry. As much as I wanted to. But anyway, I was invited to attend with a batch reunion, right? But I was really so hesitant to go during those times. It's not that I don't really want to go. I miss them so badly. Growing up, we were all so close, but you see, the reason behind was more about how freaking ashamed I was with how my life turned out at that moment. But I still took the chance and actually agreed to meet them because I love those guys. So you see, fast track. I went to the event. We were all smiles, eating, drinking, reminiscing all the happy memories we had when we were so young, and it was really fun. But then suddenly, what I was so scared about was when a batchmate asked me, "Where are you working?" Literally, there were crickets. But I have to answer. So I said, "Well, I am a security guard." So, living in a third world country like the Philippines, like here in the Philippines, I know it's a credible job. Nothing against being I was a security guard for 2 fucking years, right? But it just wasn't right for me. So that time, I mean, those smiles from my batchmates' faces suddenly turned into something else. Because nothing against them, okay, but I know that they were really concerned. They know me. They know who I am. They know my capabilities. They know what I am capable to do, or what I am supposed to be on that position. And I really know that they are not judging me. But I really can't help the fact that I did notice it. There was really awkwardness during that conversation. So, I mean, that was the time that I felt like I really had to pull the trigger. So then from a struggling security guard, I transitioned to becoming a call center agent, worked with BPO companies, and I mean, the rest was history. It could be faith, it could be luck, it could be hard work, or a combination of it. But you see, this is the exact same thing that our guest for today will be sharing with us. He's not a security guard by any means, okay? Just telling you that our guest today also took his chances in life. He literally pulled the trigger and left his full-time job to do YouTube. So as crazy as it may sound, that is exactly the truth. That's why I love him to be on board, so he can share some valuable tips for us. And now he's earning close to more than $4,000 per month, having to earn while pursuing his passion. So I invited him to be on board in today's show, as I feel some of you might also benefit from this, right? So today, you will mainly learn the exact blueprint that our guest used to go from $0 to $4,000 per month on YouTube. And this is with no previous experience in front of the camera. Interesting enough for you, I bet you do. So let's bring in our guest onto our show. Let's try to get a word from our sponsor. Peace!
As they say, food takes people to places. So during these crazy times, one can take his taste buds on a trip to Western Visayas by trying out one of its specialties. If you've ever been to Negros Occidental, you may have already tried its famous comfort food, Cansi. It's a dish made with slow-cooked beef shanks in deep sour broth soup. Bacolod City is particularly famous for Cansi. It's an iconic Ilonggo dish that is now available in Cebu. Good news for Cebuanos. You can now indulge with a bowl or two of Cansi in Cebu. Introducing Cole's Cansi. Located in the heart of Cebu. Open to serve you daily. To order, visit and message them on Facebook. Satisfy your craving and relieve that stress away. Cole's Cansi, an iconic Ilonggo dish that is now available in Cebu.
I'm always flexing.
Welcome back to the podcast. So let's cut it short. Let's dive right in. I know you are freaking excited, and I, for one, is damn excited to have our first international guest on our show. And guys, I also just want to tell you before we introduce our guest for today. Every month, I'm going to be bringing in international guests. People that I know. We've got everything mapped out, lined up for you in the next few months and coming. We will be having guests from Hollywood actresses that I know. We will also be having guests from, music industries, photographers, internationally acclaimed directors, and people or top marketers that we will try and bring into our show to give as much as value for all of you guys. I'm just pretty blessed to have worked with this, with this people, networked with them, and honored and pleased to have him on our show to bring more fruitful stories of inspiration that you can always get on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. I'm sorry about that. So just be on the lookout. Every month we'll bring in international guests, that would be very, very valuable for all of you. Anyway, now going back to our guest today. So this is also a powerful story of a man who perhaps made one of the biggest leap of faith when he did move over to Vancouver, Canada. He is from the UK. He worked in a few marketing jobs in the events and media industry after graduating in a university. Then started his very own YouTube channel. It's called Starting Up, and went full-time on YouTube, giving him over 50,000 plus subscribers to date. And his videos are getting thousands and thousands of hits. So we have him on today to witness how he did it. And perhaps let's go ahead and ask him some of the best practices on how to make a solid income generating stream on YouTube. But I'm also fairly new to the game with YouTube, fairly new to this game. So this will surely be a powerful episode. It's going to ask him some questions and how he went about doing it. So guys, I'd like you to meet our very first international guest for today, fresh and live from the UK. Shit, that rhymes. I feel like I'm rapping now. Anyway, guys, the owner and the founder of YouTube Money Making Academy and starting up, no other than Greg Preece. Welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Woo! Thanks for having me, man. Good to be here.
Great, man.
You nailed the intro. That was great. I always get nervous about introductions on my podcast, but that was good. I liked it.
You deserve, man. You deserve it. I mean, you've been killing it with YouTube, and people have been, asking for some support. Just so you know, because YouTube is really big in the Philippines, at least for our country. especially with the pandemic going on. And Greg, I mean, just to give you a little backstory, bro. You see, at the start of this show, we talked about life and how life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And I've known you for I know a short time, but you told me about you having to move to Vancouver at some point in your life, and also stepping in front of the camera. Was it perhaps a couple of situations you had in life? You can say that you stepped out of your comfort zone.
Sure, yeah. And just to start by saying, yeah, I completely agree with that statement that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. My life got exponentially better when I took that leap of faith and tried to make a change and to do something different with my life. So, yeah, the biggest example I would say of me stepping out of my comfort zone was when I took the decision to quit my 9-to-5 job. I was working in a multinational company in London, a really big company. I had a really nice, well-paying job.
Wow.
But something just wasn't right. I graduated and I'd been working in the industry for 5-6 years, and I'd been changing jobs, trying to chase happiness and to chase the right job. But every time I just realized I just wasn't happy. And over time I realized that it wasn't the specific job that wasn't making me happy. It was the fact that I had a job at all, and I actually really wanted to be independent and in control of my own destiny.
Yeah.
So the leap of faith that I took was quitting that job, going to Vancouver, Canada with just one bag on my back, and deciding to chase entrepreneurship and to chase independence and to try and reinvent my life.
Wow,
and that's when the channel started, and that's when everything else started that got me to where I am today.
Wow, man. Not everybody could actually do that, Greg. You know that, right? People would become so hesitant and so afraid to take chances in life, but somehow you did pull the trigger somehow, and everything went well for you, right?
Somehow, yeah. I mean, I think it just got to the point with me where the thought and the idea of staying in my current situation filled me with much more dread and negativity than the fear of doing something different. And it was an overpowering urge to just try and do something different. And yeah, it's gone really well. Luckily, well, a bit of luck and a bit of previous experience in marketing and video creation. My YouTube channel was created from the ground up from day one in the correct way, where I was able to become full-time YouTuber pretty early in my journey, and that's just had a huge change in my life. Being able to work from anywhere in the world, work from home, meeting interesting people such as yourself and other people online that are interested in content and sales and marketing, and I'm so happy that I took that jump in the first place.
Right. I mean, it made such a huge impact in your life. Tell us, bro. I mean, where are you from originally, and where are you based? What made you the move, to Vancouver during this time? Interested.
Sure. So I'm originally from a small area in the UK called the Midlands, which is in the middle of England. The Midlands, the idea is in the name. Yeah. So I grew up in the Midlands. I went to university and then moved down to London to work there to follow my career. And then, as I explained, got frustrated. So I went to Canada. No long-term plan, just a traveling visa,
Really?
just to chase excitement and to chase some fun and to get out of the previous routine I was in.
Were you alone, or with a couple of friends when you did that?
No, on my own. Went traveling solo.
Shit, really, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I was quite fortunate because I'd actually.
How young are you when you did that?
I was 27 this time, so I'm 31 now. So this was 4 years ago. I originally went traveling the first time when I was 22, and I went to Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia for about 18 months. So I kind of had some experience traveling solo anyway. But yeah, I was in Canada for just over a year when I was 27, back in 2016, I think. And then I came back to the UK, but I came back to the UK with a new focus, a new idea of the kind of life that I wanted to live. And I came back actually to re-enroll into university and to get my higher education, my master's degree in entrepreneurship. So I came back and did a business degree alongside growing my YouTube channel. And now I'm in the north of England, which is where I came to do my my degree.
Nice, man. Pretty inspiring, huh? Speaking about YouTube and such, so you have a channel, starting up. How did you start it, bro? And where did you get some inspiration out of doing it?
I mean, I've been a YouTube fanboy since the early days. You know, I just used to watch YouTube videos all the time when I was a teenager at college and in my spare time when I was graduated. So I had a passion for YouTube anyway, and working in marketing before I made this decision to go traveling and start the channel, I was seeing an increasing amount of focus and case studies. Case studies of influencers just making. Can we swear on this? Making a lot of money. I'll keep it clean. So my expertise, my field, my industry I was working in was showing me how lucrative, you know, YouTube, Instagram, and being an influencer was. I was a big fan of YouTube anyway, and also I had video making and photography as a hobby as a teenager anyway. It was that was my creative outlet. So it was kind of this combination of the three things: my hobby, knowing what I knew from work, and also just being a YouTuber anyway. That's what kind of led me down the YouTube field and focused me on that.
Wow, pretty interesting. You know, if you really come to think of it, you already have a career path working for, say, maybe a marketing firm or background with marketing and also with the industry alone. And then you made a very bold move and decision to go full time on YouTube. Most people doesn't know about this, but but I think my thinking is that was it probably one of the biggest decision you've ever made, transitioning from your job, which you're getting good pay, and then going over with your passion of doing YouTube videos?
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's no safety net when you do this stuff, man. There's no salary to fall back on. There's no pension, and there's no. If you lose all your money or you have an injury, there's no job insurance. So, that uncertainty and jumping into the unknown was definitely one of the biggest decisions I'd made. I was in the position with my career where if I'd sort of stayed there, kept my head down, kept working and making an impression, I probably would have, started getting promotions and starting working up the ladder to quite a nice position. But I didn't want to be in that position with a big bank balance, but just no happiness in my life, no passion around what I was doing. So yeah, big jump, but I would definitely encourage people, if they feel something's not right and they feel like they need to make a change in their life, you just got to give it a try.
Yeah, you just got to give it a shot. I mean, you will definitely make some good things that would happen out of it, exactly as what you did. And I think for everybody that's listening on our show right now or watching this, maybe making a bold decision could be a good or a bad thing, right? But so long as you do it, then that's gonna make you become very fulfilled, right? You go for your passion, which somehow people miss most of the time. Not everybody will be given the opportunity to do so, but if you are given that opportunity, then you have to make it, right?
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of doing things differently. I don't think anyone significant, like anyone in the history books that we remember, or anyone that's making astronomical amounts of money, ever just stayed in their lane and did what everyone else did. They always did something unique and something different, and they always took risks. And that's the only way you get into that category of people in the history books, is if you take a risk and do something different. So yeah, I'm a huge supporter of that mindset.
Exactly. And that should be the proper mindset for everybody that's really aiming to make a difference for themselves and, somehow make a legacy out of their names. It's pretty well said, man. I'm blown. Now, tell me, Greg, why are you paying it forward, man? And why are you teaching and guiding people to do great with YouTube? I know that you've already established, a course for people that's really looking to make a serious living out of YouTube. So maybe can you tell us more about, YouTube Money Making Academy? Why did you come up with the idea? And what's the concept behind? Would really love to know, man.
Sure. So there was a couple of questions in there. I'll try and cover it all. Why I'm paying it forwards? Well, I'm not going to pretend like it's not profitable to run my YouTube channel and to have my business. That's I'd be kidding no one if I pretended that wasn't a motivation, and especially a motivation for me at the start when I was didn't have much money to my name and stuff, and I was trying to make this work and just try and get some stability. But now I'm at a much more comfortable place. So that stuff's great, but at the same time, I feel like the internet at the moment, it's becoming like the great equalizer. So in the past, people were able to protect their privilege, in information. So there was libraries that people couldn't have access to, or there were family advice or secrets that people outside that family didn't have access to, or even access to financial advisors and accountants. Other people didn't have access to that information. And I feel like the internet is creating the information revolution where anyone that wants to know this stuff can find this stuff out. As long as they look hard enough and they're motivated enough, you can usually access the information that previously was kept behind lock and key. And as someone, I obviously live in a pretty wealthy country, but at the same time, I'm a minority in this country. I've always felt a little bit like my race has provided obstacles for me in this country and in limitations. And so I don't like the idea of people having limitations in place and unnecessary obstacles. So I like the idea that I can learn things that have worked for me, and then using this open playing field of the internet, I can give it back to anyone who has got the drive and the motivation to look for that information and to learn it themselves. Is that making sense?
Yes, of course, man. The moment you decided to, pay it forward, going back to the idea you had when you started. So literally, the motivation wasn't really about money. It was about with your passion, putting up content for people that they can consume and really, make full efforts in the hopes of making other people's lives better. And that is exactly why I think I landed and made you as my friend, maybe, because I can really see some genuinity in you, man. And I appreciate you for being that kind of person. So I'm excited. YouTube Money Making Academy.
Sure.
How can people access it? Let's say, what are the things behind that concept, man?
Yeah, so the YouTube Money Making Academy is basically teaching people how to do what I did. So it's how you can build a YouTube channel from scratch, from day one, that focuses on pretty much anything you're passionate about, anything you're an expert in, or any hobbies that you have or any skills you have. It's how you can focus on that thing and turn it into a profitable YouTube channel that can support your livelihood.
Nice.
So the course basically teaches you from day one the step-by-step blueprint of how to get the winning idea that's going to send your YouTube channel to success, and then how to build the channel up around that idea and the different ways you can monetize that channel along the way.
So it's somewhat like your personal blueprint, maybe, how you started, and the exact step-by-step comprehensive approach of the game in doing YouTube, videos or YouTube channel the proper way from start to finish. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you've already mentioned YouTube is getting so popular now. More and more people are hearing that you can make money from it, and they're jumping onto YouTube. But a lot of people are just doing it the wrong way, and they're spending all this time and effort on an idea for their channel that is never going to be profitable. It might even get them lots of followers and subscribers, but it's probably not going to make them much money. But you can, from the very start, eliminate bad ideas and go with an idea that is very likely to make you money. And it's kind of just teaching people that skill of how to eliminate bad ideas and how to find the right ideas.
Okay, makes sense.
Follow my blueprint of monetizing that channel from very early on, and allowing it to grow and build, so it can basically make you a income at a really early stage, much earlier than most other YouTubers have to wait for.
Nice. So literally, there is still science behind this, right?
For sure, yeah. And that's drawing on the marketing principles and the advertising principles that I picked up from those marketing jobs that I had before I started the channel. There's things that advertisers like, there's things that YouTube likes that is going to put you in a better position than if you don't do these things. And it's kind of trying to teach that science and that information to people.
Awesome, man. Because you can literally have, let's say, 1 million subscribers and you're not earning anything. Is that true?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a set of YouTubers called NELK, so NELK, millions of subscribers, but because YouTube doesn't like the content they're putting out, they don't have any adverts on any of their videos. They don't make any money from YouTube.
Damn it, really, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For sure, yeah. So it's making sure people don't fall into that trap or that mistake. I mean, Nauk have got so big now with the millions of subscribers that they've managed to monetize their following off YouTube by selling t-shirts, but not everyone will have that option. And it's just making sure people don't realize their mistake 3 years down the line, but they realize it from day one, and they can recalibrate and readjust their strategy going into it.
Which would probably take so much time. I mean, calibrating what you are currently doing, which is wrong, and then suddenly realizing that, hey, how am I not getting money and I'm getting about 2 million subscribers? See what I mean? So it should truly make sense. So guys, I mean, if you're watching or hearing this episode right now, let's try and check out YouTube Money Making Academy by Greg Preece. I'm going to be showing you some the links later on today's show, and maybe in our postings. I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I know that you're for everybody that's really starting up and looking to make maybe one of the biggest transitions that they are intending to do, because YouTube is just one of the many avenues that people can tap nowadays and try to make a living online by way of pursuing their passion and doing videos, or whatever things that they are so passionate about that they can share content on YouTube. I'm just pretty interested to know, bro. Do you have anything like some sort of a guide that people can try and start and see? So some of the stuff that you're doing, do you have a free guide that people can consume, maybe, that you can share?
I mean, obviously my speciality is YouTube, so I have a lot of free material around YouTube. First off, my YouTube channel, I try and put out tons of free value on the channel, but I also have a free ebook that I put together teaching people how the YouTube monetization system works and how you can go about starting to become aware of what's important there. And in addition to that, I've got some free training that I've done, probably about an hour-long training to teach people the absolute basics of YouTube and how they can start thinking about building their channel the right way. So I think you've got a link, haven't you, Jameer, where people can click that link and they'll get access to that free video training and the free guide by following that link. And at the end of that, they'll get the option to purchase my course, but they don't have to if they don't need to. The free training is equally valuable at the start, for sure.
Nice, man. Nice, man. Awesome stuff you have there. I mean, just imagine, guys, if you're looking to do, one of the biggest decisions you can probably do by tapping YouTube as your other, or maybe your avenue to finally make a solid income stream for yourself or maybe for your family. We definitely have our guest today, showing you, how to fast track your career, maybe by doing so and by following YouTube Money Making Academy. And I know, man, I've seen your channel. I've seen how massive your content is, and I'm just pretty blown by all the content that you're giving away for people, man. And that perhaps is one of the best, things that we can share for everybody that's listening or watching an episode today. Now, bro, tell me what is perhaps one of the best tips that you can give for people out, especially if they're just starting out, maybe just created their channel or looking to get into doing it. Please give us some words, man. I myself am pretty brand new, so I would love to hear some inspiration from you.
I'm going to try not to get too specific here, but a nice general mindset, sort of rule that I try and follow ever since I made that jump 4 years ago is just like, and the clue is in my channel name, Start and Go Up. I'm a strong believer of just starting. More and more, the bigger my channels gets, and the more I see people asking me questions and thinking about pursuing their passion, I see more and more people who are scared to take that leap, and they're over-analyzing everything. They're trying to learn everything they need to know before they even start. It's because they want that perfect start. But I've learned that the secret is not to be scared of taking that jump and starting, and not to be scared of making mistakes, but just getting going. And you're going to learn so much once you start going than you would ever learn beforehand when you're trying to get all the theory in advance. And it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah,
you can learn from those mistakes and you can correct them, and that's what makes what you're doing better, and that's what lets you build something better. So just don't be scared of making mistakes, and don't try to learn everything before you make that jump. Just make the jump and learn as you're going, and that's what most people do. Yeah.
And this is literally what the show's topic is all about, man. I mean, you got to step outside of your comfort zone to know and see what the possibilities of what you are about to experience. And dude, awesome stuff you have for us, man. Awesome stuff.
I mean, with my channel, I've changed the direction of my channel a few times. I've made videos on one topic and it's not really resonated well with an audience. I've changed, and then I've changed again. I've changed my branding so many different times. I've changed the way I talk in my videos. Like, people are very forgiving, and you have that flexibility to make mistakes and change. And the same with, we've worked together. You've built some websites for me, and the first version of that might not have worked, so we've changed it and tried again. You just have to understand that nothing is final. You can always improve and change things and adjust. So don't let that scare you, I guess, from starting.
As long as you start, right, and pull the trigger. That is the main point.
And this is you pulling the trigger you're pulling the trigger with this podcast, eh?
Yeah, it's been long overdue, Greg. I've been really meaning to have it launched. That's what I've told you. And people deserve to somehow really have a show like this that could really get them going, on a day by day basis. You may not know about this, man, but we are freaking hit hard by the pandemic, living in a third world country like ours. Although I know for sure you guys there in the UK really, past few months, you went through a lot of tough situations there, right?
We did, yeah. It affected everyone differently. I mean, personally, I was in a very fortunate position where I'm self-employed, and I don't know why, but luckily the government made it their focus to support self-employed people, and they were very protective over small businesses and gave us a lot of financial assistance. But people who were working particularly in the events industry or the hospitality industry got hit really hard, man. There's been lots of job losses, lots of uncertainty, lots of businesses going out of business in those industries. So yeah, there has definitely been.
That's pretty tough. And I guess right here in our country, bro, it's exactly the opposite, maybe. As much as you don't want to step into discussing about politics, but right here, man, it really sucks. People are stealing from us. The politicians are doing so, which really sucks. That is why, a podcast like this could be somehow a good eye opener for people, to really make something good out of life despite everything they're going through. And guys, everybody that's listening or watching the show now, if you're seriously meaning to, transition and maybe, tap in doing YouTube videos, as as I'm getting feedback from most of you that personally emailed me, you don't have to go through all the pain to having to pull the trigger and start a YouTube channel. Somehow we have Greg here and the YouTube Money Making Academy to guide you through step by step, systematic, and backed with science, on how he did his stuff and how he's making a profit out of YouTube now, doing it the right way. So yes, it's true. Content is everywhere. You can Google it, you can search it, you can watch thousands of videos in teaching you how to do it. But man, I've never seen a course like this that is spoon-fed right in front of your face, in front of your mouth, right? Guiding you the step-by-step process on how to make a living out of YouTube. And Greg is perhaps one of the best case studies results that everyone could, absorb. So, man, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for being here, man. I mean,
Thank you.
I know it's a blast. You've thrown some precious bombs in front of our faces. Thank you so much for that. Any final words that you can probably, throw for people, aspiring to be doing YouTube videos, creating YouTube channel? We want to hear your thoughts, man.
Sure. Well, yeah, first off, it's been great to be here. Thanks for having me. I was happy to be here when you asked me. And yeah, anyone that is getting, it's really sad to hear what you said about things in your country being bad from this pandemic. And I hope this has helped some people who are looking for some answers. And yeah, just like I said before, I think the internet is so powerful in terms of equalizing what information people have access to. So just, I want you to know that there is another option out there. If the normal path through life that you're sort of told to go down isn't working out, there is alternatives. You can use this tool to find information you need and to give yourself a high chance of succeeding in taking your life into your own hands. Whether it's YouTube or whether it's any other field, entrepreneurial field that you're interested in, just use that resource, use the internet, ask people like Jameer and myself, reach out to people, and yeah, just find the information that you need and act on it. That's the second thing. Just make sure you act on it. It's all well and good reading and consuming all this information, but you need to put action behind that. And fingers crossed, you can change your life.
Exactly. And I'll agree with you, man. And by the way, I almost forgot to mention this to you. Or I'm sorry, not to you, but to our audience here. You can literally start a YouTube channel even if you're not comfortable in front of the camera. And that's exactly how Greg did his stuff when he started up, right, Greg?
Sure, yeah. If I watch my early videos back, it seems like a different person. I was not comfortable. I did not know what I was doing. But it's that thing again of learning on the job. I'm sure your first podcast, pretty nervous, and I'm sure you've learned a lot in just a few you've done already. And in the next 100 episodes, you'll learn so much more.
True. I mean, it's always a constant learning, and that's the beauty of it, man. I mean, my very first episode was somehow something I did. I just literally pulled the trigger, 30 minutes, just really conceptualizing what I'll be doing. I know I can converse pretty spontaneously, but having the idea to run a podcast along with a YouTube video is somehow, pretty overwhelming. But fuck, man, I just did what I gotta do. Pull the trigger, do it. Whatever happens, everything happens for a reason. So, yeah, the hell with it. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to help people. And, I mean, I'm not the type, I may not be, I may look confident for most people, but man, I'm always the man behind whatever I do, like campaigns, choreographing for dances. It's kind of like a different field, totally. So, guys, I mean, you're getting, examples from us, myself, from Greg, that even if you're not totally confident enough, maybe to start off with, that you can always improve, and that's the beauty of it.
Sure.
As long as you make your biggest action, you got to pull the trigger and take that action.
So is that a theme or a principle you're going to have in every podcast episode? Is that your
exactly,
main
man?
theme?
I'm gonna be rolling out content for people weekly. Just giving them inspiring. I mean, stories like yourself, how you pull the trigger, something like that, and really brought positive results over to your life, made some impact. I myself, as a good case study as well, showing people how I started. You may not know about this, but I was a security guard before, earning so low, and now I'm here. So it's really trying to, I'm trying to get the message across for people that there is definitely something hope despite everything that we're going through right now, especially here in our country.
There's always hope.
There is definitely. Guys, I hope you had, consumed some valuable information from us today. Anybody can actually provide you tips and ideas and stuff like that. You can search it, Google it, if you're looking to, make profit out of YouTube. But guys, you need to check out Greg. It's a systematic way and approach, showing you step-by-step process on how to, create a good streaming income, or for doing YouTube and YouTube videos, YouTube channels. And check him out. You need to follow Greg, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Going to be putting the links right here on his podcast. Subscribe to his YouTube channel that's starting up. Check him out. You'll see tons and tons of content. But first, guys, I want you to scroll all the way down. Check out his very first video, guys. You're going to need to check Greg's first video. It's there. And if you don't, I will probably think of putting it in this episode.
You got me back.
Payback time, baby. It's payback time. Anyway, no kidding aside.
No.
Check out Greg's YouTube channel. Starting up. I'm going to give you some links as well for the YouTube Money Making Academy. Greg will be sharing a free guide for all of you that you can see, detailed information about what the program is about and how you'd be able to make an income out of doing YouTube. So links, check it out. And by the way, that's ytmoneymakingacademy.com. So for everyone to check it out. Final words, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Good luck to everyone watching. And just make sure the start of 2020 has not been great. Let's make the last 4 months as good as we can.
Exactly. Let's capitalize on it, guys. We're just down to the last stretch. So make full use of the last 4 months of this fucking year. It's been a tough situation for all of us. Everyone could resonate. Guys, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. It's been a phenomenal episode today. And I hope you're enjoying it. And then, again, thanks for supporting. Once again,
thanks.
This is Jameer Angelo. Nothing But Up, the podcast. This is episode number 4. Peace, yo!
I'm always flexing.
Yo, wait. Before you go and leave the podcast, as what I promised you, here's a short clip of the very first video Greg posted on YouTube.
So I've just moved to Vancouver. I'm 27, just turned 27. I've got no job, and my previous lifestyle means I've only got the level of savings to last me a very short amount of time, and I figure it's time for a new start. So since leaving uni, I've been doing the 9-to-5 office grind for about 4 or 5 years, which hasn't really allowed me to get very far in life. Rent is high, everything seems to be expensive, there's greater competition than ever for jobs, which means employers don't have to pay that much. And for someone like me who hasn't really got like a wealthy donor on the sidelines, I just find myself living month to month, scraping by and not really being able to plan or prepare for anything else. So that's the reason for this channel. I want to become self-sufficient. I want to stop relying on an employer as a means to survive and start providing for myself. So apart from the practical skills I learned at uni that I can apply directly to a job I'm doing, and the office skills I've picked up since leaving uni, I don't really know anything about branching out and starting up on my own and trying to make something more for myself. So each week I'm going to be trying to learn new skills across finance, business and personal development. I'll be posting a new video every Thursday where you'll be able to check in on my progress, and you'll be able to see someone that trying to go from having no skills in these areas to making a go of it and trying to start up on his own. I've been a little bit inspired by my friend who moved to America 6 months ago. He set up a channel under the alias of 3-Year Millionaire. You should check him out. I don't know how this works, there'll be a link somewhere. But yeah, he's trying to do the same thing. He's moved to America and he's trying to set up on his own, learn the principles of business and make a go of things for himself. And that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to watch someone with no skills in business or finance trying to branch out, start up and make something of himself, and you think you can get inspiration from my channel, subscribe. There'll be a new video coming every Thursday, and then also make sure you comment and like this video. Great, thanks guys, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out, next video will be next Thursday. See you then.
Pretty cool, right? So from that video to this, over 50,000 plus subscribers on his starting up YouTube channel, and getting thousands and thousands of views, making him very profitable in terms of running his YouTube channel. And guys, you can check him out and try to see, and is getting solid results as you are seeing. Thousands of dollars coming into his account constantly by doing YouTube. And also check the blueprint that he used from $0 to $4,000 monthly on YouTube. So yeah, support guys, this is all for you, and please support the podcast too. Nothing But Up, the podcast. Peace, y'all.
I'm always flexing.
Thanks for tuning in. Download this episode and pass on the news. Hit like and subscribe. Watch out for our next episode coming out next.